It's the Geico 500 here on YouTube TV network for the NASCAR Cup Series. And it's going to be a hot one today. These drivers are going to have to stay hydrated because it's 88 degrees outside today, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to only get intense. The racing is going to be intense. The heat is going to be intense because we're going to go 188 laps on this track, 500 miles here. And it's going to be pack racing at speeds of 200 plus miles an hour, like yesterday's Xfinity Series race. And if you lose the draft, you will go a lap down here because everybody in the draft is much faster. The number 20 of Urban was the fastest in practice and won the pole for today's race, so he's going to lead the field to green. And without further ado, actually we'll tell you the top 16 in points, who would technically be in the playoffs after Charlotte if the regular season ended after Charlotte. And these are the points heading here into Talladega as they stand. So the points as they stand. Urban has 230 points, 10 stage wins, 1,032 laps led, 5 wins, 7 starts, only 1 DNF, and that was at Phoenix. And he has 5 poles and 19 playoff points. He's locked in. Ryan Preece is in second with 60 points. No stage wins, 82 laps led, 1 win, 7 starts, no DNFs, no poles, and 5 playoff points. And Ty Gibbs, the teammate to the number 20 car who's on the pole, has 57 points. 1 stage win, 390 laps led, 1 win, 7 starts, no DNFs, no poles, and 5 playoff points. Now, those are just the top 3 in points. The other 13 cars who would be in the playoffs, if this was the first race of the playoffs, are as they stand. Eric Almirola is 20 points above the cut line. Chase Elliott is 17 points above the cut line. Briscoe is 17 to the good. Alex Bowman is 16 to the good. Bubba Wallace is 15 to the good. Martin Truex Jr., 10 to the good. Chastain is 9 to the good. Cindric is 7 to the good. Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell, those two are also 7 to the good. Kyle Larson is 3 to the good. Ryan Blaney is 2 to the good. And Denny Hamlin is 0 to the good. And Brad Keselowski, who would be the first car out if the playoffs started today, is 0 to the negative. So Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski fighting for that 16th and final spot. And of course, we still got plenty of racing to do during the regular season here. There's 26 races during the regular season. This is only race number 8 of the regular season, but again, looking at that playoff picture, some of the drivers who are in the negative right now, this is a great time to be in the negative through the first 8 races, because as the regular season goes on, you give yourself a chance to get above the cut line in the final 10 races before the playoffs, which is from race 17 all the way to 26. But if you dig yourself a hole early in the season, or you're just a part-time driver who's not able to be eligible for the playoffs, it's kind of hard to compete with those other cars on the track for those playoff spots. So a lot of drivers dug themselves a hole. Actually, in fun fact, Ryan Preece was getting bad finishes, and he won at Atlanta. And when you win, you are guaranteed a playoff spot. So the 20, Ryan Preece and Ty Gibbs, those are the only 3 cars locked in. Who else will join them? Well, let's find out. 188 laps, 500 miles of pack racing here at Talladega Superspeedway. Urban's on the inside. Bell's on the outside, and of course he's going to jump the restart. But the green flag is in the air, and the Geico 500 is underway. Also, the car that is in front of me currently, that says the 20, we're pretending he's the 02, and I'm the 20. So technically we started on the pole, lost the lead here a little bit, but it's still early. As look at this, the 20 car is challenging the 02 for the lead again. They're going to slam, or the 02 is going to slam into the 20. And the 20 is just going to stay in the gas, so it's a 60-lap stage one here. And the 20 going into turn 3 clears the 02. But he's got Kyle Larson back there, now running third. Look at Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick is low in points, and he is up to 4th. But look at the 20, he's pulling way out there. By half a second. They come to 182 miles an hour completing lap 1 here at Talladega. Man, Christopher Bell really fell back there. I mean, he started second, kind of jumped the restart technically, because the 20 was supposed to go cross the start-finish line before Christopher Bell could pass him. And he took the lead. The 20 got to him and took the lead right back, and he's really falling back there. Look at Martin Truex Jr., the teammate to the current leader, who's already pulling out to a 1-second lead. And we knew this 20 car was going to be fast because he was the fastest car in practice, and he qualified on the pole. Clearly the fastest car here. And look at that. Sending everybody to a 1 second, making everybody 1 second behind them at least. Also, we are going to say that pit stops, we will be pretending that they are happening this week, because the game has pit stops for Superspeedways so unrealistic, it's pointless even doing one because, well, everybody is just literally going to lose a lap. So, instead of doing that, we're just going to pretend that they are happening at the end of the stages. And the cars will stay in their same position that they are in at the time. As you now get a look at the helmet cam for the first time for the 20. And that's what everybody wants to see in front. No cars ahead of him. Kyle Larson is 2 seconds behind him. He can just cruise at this point. As he's going to go in that third lane on the high side, that's going to allow Kyle to make up some of that time, but he's going to pull it right back away, going down the back straightaway. Now all the way to the low side goes the 20. Look at Daniel Suarez and Bubba Wallace up there. Bubba Wallace and Daniel Suarez are to the good right now in the playoffs standings. Well, yeah, the current standings after the first 7 races of the season. Another lap complete. Another lap led by the 20. He's led them all to this point. Gotta love good old Talladega. Remember, it's not if the big one happens here, it's when the big one happens, and you want to avoid that big one. And right now, with the 20 being as far out in front as he is, he has a good chance to avoid that if it happens behind him. However, if he starts to see lap traffic ahead, and the big one happens in front of him, then he's going to have to try to miss it. And we talk about this 20 car. He is a good super speedway racer. That is why I'm not surprised he was the fastest in practice and won the pole. He is really good at super speedway racing. And he won Daytona, the season opener. That was his 4th Daytona 500 in a row. He actually had this same paint scheme on the car, winning that race. And he finished 6th, or 5th, I believe. Yeah, it was 5th at Atlanta. Ryan Preece, that's the race Ryan Preece won. Monster Energy has brought him nothing but good luck. a Daytona 500 win. He actually swept both the stages in that race. A Daytona 500 win to start the season off and lock himself in the playoffs. And now the fastest in practice and the pole here at Talladega. And now he's way out in front of Ross Chastain, who actually does have a career win here at Talladega in real life. He won the 2022 spring race here. And now, at some point during the race, the draft might actually catch back up to the 20, because they are going faster than the 20 is right now, because they are in that draft. So keep that in mind. They might be able to catch him, and when that happens, the 20 will just have to block. The 20 said on his team radio that it's just like the Xfinity Series race yesterday. The restarts are just, the starts and restarts are just bad. But of course, technically, Bell did jump the start of the race there, so technically that would be a penalty if he was a real person, because the 20, since he's on the pole, is supposed to cross the start-finish line before anybody can pass him. That's the same for everybody else on the track too. If you're third place, you have to wait till second place crosses the start-finish line to pass him. So if you jump and gain before the start-finish line, then that is a penalty, and it's actually a pass-through penalty. See, if everybody in this race was a human right now, and Bell had to do that pass-through penalty, he would definitely go a lap down, because the 20 is just fast out there, and the same with the draft, they're really fast. But he did that early, meaning if you're going to make a mistake, it's best to do it early, because you know you're going to get some cautions throughout the race, especially one to end the stage, even if it goes clean here, to get your lap back. So and this is the sister track of Daytona. The only differences to it is at Daytona, the banking in the turns is 31 degrees. And here at Talladega, it's 33 degrees banking in the turns. And the start-finish line at Daytona is in the tri-oval. Here at Talladega, as you can see, it's a little past the tri-oval down towards turn 1. And from here, next week, we're going to race on dirt in the Cup Series for the first time since 1970. Now, technically, they did it in real life in 2021. But since this is our inaugural Cup Series dirt race at Bristol Dirt next week, it would be the first time since 1970, 52 years ago. And the 20, who's out front, currently leading this race, is a threat to win that race because he's really good at dirt track racing. And he's actually going to run the late model race at Bristol, and he's going to be running the truck race at Eldora, and he's really good at that. He's won there 2 times in his career. And he's going to be running a late model race at Eldora. And if sprint cars run there, he might even run sprint cars, he said. So it's going to be a busy week for him racing-wise. He's got Bristol Dirt for late models Wednesday. Then he has to fly up to Ohio from Tennessee to do late model racing at Eldora Thursday night. Then Friday night, he has to run the Eldora Dirt Derby for the Truck Series. Then Saturday, he has to make his way. He's going to stay in the state of Ohio, but he's got to make his way to a different city in Ohio and race at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, which is a road course. And then he's got to get back down to Tennessee and run the Cup race at Bristol on Sunday. So it's a busy week for him. As we are 11 laps in to the Geico 500, and we're going to take our first commercial break. Well, during the side-by-side coverage, you saw it there. The 20 bounced off the wall on the front straightaway, and then he bounced off it a couple times in turn 3, but he still stays out front, and we have still stayed green throughout it. And also, Jordan, no, the full race will be ran in this one stream. And that's the thing, though, about running the high side at these tracks. You gotta be careful, because you're running so close to that wall. And you saw there, the 20 bounced off of it a couple of times. You definitely don't want to be doing that. That's one thing for sure. He's back to the high side now. You can see that he ain't scared despite bouncing off the walls a couple of times. Justin Haley, look at him. He's really bad in the points right now. Running top 5. Chase Elliott, good in the points. He's currently 5th in points right now. Up to 4th. So I'm imagining the stage 2 will also be another 60 laps, so keep that in mind. You look on just up by his initials there, you see 5 checkered flag stickers, indicating he's won 5 races in the Cup Series this season, including Charlotte last week. He was coming off a top 5 finish at Atlanta. One at Charlotte. That race was actually shortened to 200 laps instead of the full 400. He led 134 of 200 laps and went on to win that race. And currently has led all 17 laps here in this race so far. This stage ends on lap 60. I'd like to see if the 20 can run down lap traffic, because right now it's looking like he's gonna. Eventually. It's gonna take a minute, because, again, they're in the draft right now. He's not. The pit stops are there if you decide you absolutely want to take one. Back to the tri-oval. 19 laps complete here at Talladega Superspeedway. We started around 2:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And have been green since. Not one caution yet, despite the 20 bouncing off the wall. Denny Hamlin, who currently is in the 15 until Martin Truex Jr. retires, because Noah Gragson's in the 11, is currently last place right now, and he's 0 points to the good in the playoffs right now, as he currently sits with 40 points along with Brad Keselowski. So if he goes a lap down here to the 20, he might leave here below the cut line, heading into race number 9, which is the Bristol Dirt Race. So he's got to hope that the caution comes out before the 20 gets to him, as we're about to have less than 40 to go here in stage 1. It's about to be 39 laps to go at the line. Denny Hamlin's going to go a lap down. This 20 is faster than he is right now. Denny Hamlin has lost the draft along with Kaz Gralla. There's a couple other cars back here who lost the draft as well. And there's Denny Hamlin going a lap down to his boss. Kaz Gralla is going to be the next victim. Again, Denny Hamlin, Kaz Gralla, they lost the draft. And I believe BJ McLeod did too. And we talked about it before the race started. If you lose the draft, you're going to go a lap down. Or they're going to catch you if you're the leader. They haven't caught the 20 yet. But the 20 has caught up to a couple lap cars here who did lose the draft. He's going to go high side again, just like he did to pass Denny. And now just ahead is BJ McLeod. So 40th, 39th, and 38th place will all fall a lap down here. With 37 laps to go in the stage. BJ McLeod sits 24th in points right now, and finishing a lap down here might not help him get closer to that cutoff line. He made the playoffs a season ago by winning a stage at Daytona because he had put himself in good enough finishes that all he needed to really do was win a stage to clinch a playoff spot. Last season he did that. So far hasn't really had the season he's been imagining. But he sits 24th in points. He's getting closer to that 16th and final spot, but going a lap down here early could be bad because the 20 could potentially run down 37th place and lap him, and then all of a sudden BJ doesn't get his lap back. But if it goes the way it's going now, BJ will get his lap back, and there'll be 38 cars on the lead lap. .35 to go in stage 1. And we have reached 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we still have 34 laps to run. Oh, Tyler Reddick, he was in the top 5, fell all the way back to 37th place. He's way up there going through turns 3 and 4 now. Can he stay that far ahead of the 20 for the final 34-33 laps of the stage? Oh, Austin Cindric, who is to the good in the points, has fallen back to 37th now. Tyler Reddick falls to 36th after he gained as high as 35th. Cindric knows that the 20 is probably going to catch him by the end of this stage. Oh, now Tyler Reddick falls right back down there. Those 37th through 35th might be caught up to because they're not in the draft. So the 20 might be able to get them. What a weekend it's been for Team Urbane so far. Owned and operated by Urbane there in the 20 who's leading. All three of their cars in yesterday's Xfinity Series race survived the big one and finished in the top 10. Urbane himself won that Xfinity Series race in the 24. His teammate in the number 5 brought it home third. And his teammate in the 23, who ran his first race since Daytona, because he's part-time, finished 5th. So that was a good run yesterday. Currently, had the fastest car in practice, won the pole. They've led every lap in this race so far. Looks like it might be another good day for Team Urbane regardless if they hang on and win this thing or not. Because it's still early yet, anybody can still win. As we have 30 laps to go in stage 1, and we're going to take another side-by-side.
Car low, car still next to you, clear, clear.
.26 laps to go in stage 1, and the 20 was able to catch up to LaJoy, Cindric, and Reddick, and put them a lap down. Now he's chasing a bunch of cars ahead of him here. And realistically, there's still plenty of racing to do in this stage, so he's going to catch him. Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski. It's not really going to affect Alex Bowman much because he's really high in the point standings. right now. He's to the good. And yes, there's 3 stages. But Brad Keselowski, currently in the 17th spot in points, would be the first car out if the playoffs, or if the regular season ended last week. This is going to affect him a little bit because, I mean, Denny Hamlin's already a lap down, but if the 20 catches Brad, that could affect him even more. It will affect Alex Bowman some, but I don't think it's going to put him below the cut line. As we got 30 or 25 laps to go in stage 1. Greg Biffle is going to be the first car that gets caught. Then all those cars in front of him are going to get caught. Those other cars will be able to pull away at least a little bit until the 20 gets around Biffle here, but here he goes to the high side. There he goes around Biffle.
Clear, clear, clear.
Now Todd Gillen, Ty Dillon, and Alex Bowman, and a bunch of others are the next victims. Because now the 20, I mean, he's in dirty air, but he is in a draft now. He's in a draft of some sort, so this will help him pull even farther away from second place. Momentum is definitely on his side. He won the Xfinity Series race yesterday. Fastest car in practice. Qualified on the pole. And so far has a fast car here.
On the outside, you're 3. Stay left. 2 on the outside, you're 3.
Oh, look at that. The 02 fell all the way back to 28.
Got one right.
As the 20 shoves AJ Allmendinger up the track. There's Ryan Preece running 23rd. We mentioned he won at Atlanta 2 weeks ago. Ryan Newman just ahead, running his first ever Superspeedway race. Then Joey Logano, along with Harrison Burton there. All those guys are going to go a lap down.
One left. Still inside. All clear.
Twenty laps remain in the opening stage. I don't think he's going to catch everybody, but those cars way up there he should be able to catch before the end of this stage. He's won 10 stages already. This is going to be his 12th or 11th, I mean. If he wins this one, it would be his 12th if he sweeps the stages and wins stage 2. And the only reason he has 10 stage wins is because he had 6 stage wins heading into Charlotte, and Charlotte is 4 stages. So he won all 4 stages, so totals out to 10. As look at those cars up there. They are in a draft. But the 20 is catching them. And he's catching them fast. $28 to go. That's a lot of cars up ahead there. Look at Josh Berry running 18th, top 20. And the cars ahead are not liking what their crew chiefs are saying and their spotters are saying. They're saying that 20 car is catching up, and he's catching up to you guys fast. Ty Gibbs, he's running 19th. He has a win already this season, so he could probably care less if he goes a lap down. But I mean, at the same time, more than one win in the season is also great. You don't really want to go a lap down. But if you do, you do, unfortunately. Is that 19 cars right there? We'll have to see. But I know he at least has speed to make it around all of those cars. And that was actually 18 laps to go, a couple laps. We said 28, but we meant 18. As this is 16 to go right here. Look at all this traffic ahead.
Car right. All clear. 2 on the outside. Here 3. Car right. Clear, clear, clear. 3 wide. 2 outside. Car right. 3 wide. 2 outside. Clear all around. 3 wide. You got 2 up top.
You're going to have to be careful.
You're in the middle here. 3 wide. Clear, clear. Car right. 3 wide middle.
He had no choice but to get into the back of Justin Haley there and push him. And with 15 laps to go, we'll do one final side-by-side before the end of the stage.
2 inside, you're 3 wide. 1 left. All clear. 3 wide, 2 down there. 1 left. Clear, clear. Got 1 left. Clear all around. Got 1 left. All clear. Got 1 left. Clear, clear, clear. Stay right. Still inside. Still next to you. Clear all around.
10 laps remain here in stage 1 for the Geico 500 from Talladega Superspeedway. And during the side-by-side, the 20 did manage to lap the entire field. So this is going to be an interesting into stage 1 here, because the 20 is guaranteed the stage win, unless if the caution comes out. Ross Chastain will get his lap back at the end of the stage, because the caution will come out. But a crazy stage 1. We knew the 20 was going to have a fast car, but because of the draft on these cars, we did not think the 20 was going to be able to run down the entire field, and he did. And he's still pulled away. He's got 7 seconds ahead of Ross Chastain. That's how many seconds Chastain is behind the leader to try to get his lap back before the end of the stage. And he has 9 laps to do it. No cautions since the start of the race. It's been clean racing, despite the 20 getting up into the wall a couple of times. Running the middle lane there. He's gonna stick in that middle lane, looks like. The 20 continues to be out front. As now Chase Elliott has taken over second. Kyle Larson up to third. Chastain fell back. Ooh, the 20 got below the double yellow line there. But keep in mind, that is not a penalty because he did not advance his position down there. He just got below it. And he immediately corrected him being below it. As we got 7 to go here, stage 1. Oh, I thought for sure the 20 was going to lose control there. He is so loose coming off of turn 2 there. The flagger has the green and white checkered flag in one hand, ready to go for when it's finally that time, and the caution flag in the other. We'll have to see which one comes out first. Take a look at that helmet cam and see it from Urbane's point of view coming to 5 to go in the stage here. His RPM's about 8,022, I saw. And there's 5 to go in stage number 1. And we're gonna show you driver's point of view for 1 lap. that is that. You saw a nice view with 5 laps to go for the driver's point of view. Now let's take a look at that dash cam on the 20. Oh, he scraped the wall a little bit in turn 2 there. Electing to run that high side there, up by the wall. I think he scraped it again a little bit. That's that kind of happens if you run the wall. You scrape it sometimes. Now he's going middle lane. Three laps to go in stage number 1 here at Talladega, and there's lap traffic ahead. Can he catch it in 3 laps and put those guys 2 laps down? Denny Hamlin is already 2 laps down because he was in, and BJ McLeod, because they were both behind Ross Chastain there when Urbane passed him to lap him. But can the 20 reel in the cars in front of him in 3 laps? Coming to 1 lap to go. I'm not too sure he's going to catch these cars and put them 2 laps down before the end of the stage, because at the line it's 1 lap to go in the stage. The final lap of stage number 1 here at Talladega Superspeedway in the Geico 500. And he's going all the way to the high side, going into turn 1 there. He's led every lap to this point, despite Christopher Bell jumping the restart on the start of the race. And everybody is at least 1 or 2 laps down, except for the cars in front of them. And some of the cars behind them. But it doesn't matter. Because off turn 4, he won all stages at Charlotte last week. He's going to get another stage win this week and make it 11 stage wins on the season for him as he comes through the trial wall. And he's going to win the opening stage as the first 60 laps of the Geico 500 are complete.
Watch the light. Pit road is closed. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Pit entry is red.
So it was Urbane, Chastain, Harvick, Elliott, Byron, Jones, Gregson, Blaney, Haley, and Kyle Busch. The top 10 for stage 1 there. And pit stops, again, we're pretending that they happen after the stages. Pit stops have happened. And the 20 managed to keep the lead. And we will get rolling here in a sec. So Chastain does get his lap back here. So Urbane on the inside. Chastain on the outside. And green flag, stage 2. Underway, another 60 laps. Chastain pulls out front of the 20, currently leading. The 20's going to send him up the track. And this will get the 20 momentum to go back for the lead. He's going to clear him in turn 3. If not before it, he's got to go block Harvick. He does. He's clear. Kevin Harvick takes over second. So Chastain must still be a lap down. Actually, give us a sec, because I do want to know. I do want to be able to tell you what lap this stage comes to an end on. So this stage will end on lap number 20, or 120. Excuse me. It will end on lap 120 of 188. So we're getting close to halfway here. Halfway is 94 laps. And if Mother Nature decided to show up, or any other reason, the race could become official after 94 laps. But it's a nice day outside, and it's expected to be a nice day outside, so we will be going to the finish, but we just share that with you guys just so you know where halfway is at. And that, again, that is after 94 laps in this race have been completed. So a nice pit stop for the 20. He managed to keep his track position. Chastain and Harvick, they managed to keep their track position. Now the field's kind of mixed up behind the leader there. Also, you get a playoff point per stage win, so that's another playoff point for Urbane. He got the one playoff point for winning the pole, and now he has a playoff point for winning the opening stage and can earn, and due to a rule change, because before you couldn't earn 2 playoff points, you could only earn 1. Due to a rule change, he can now earn another playoff point if he manages to win this stage too. And again, with everybody a lap down, because Chastain never got his lap back for some reason, there's really a good shot for the 20 to win this stage, unless if a caution comes out. I mean, we dropped the green flag for the first 60 laps of the race, which was stage 1, and it went green for the whole 60 laps. And honestly, I would not be surprised if it goes green here. And for anybody that may be popping in and out of the stream or just now tuning in, this stage will end on lap number 120 of 188. That should still be about 68 something laps to go in the race. I don't know for sure yet. Actually, we can total that up right now. Yeah, 68 laps to go there will be in the race at the end of this stage right here. So in reality, it's just the final stage is just 8 more laps than the first 2. Ryan Blaney up to 3rd. There. Noah Gregson now jumps to 4th. Gregson started in a hole, but ever since joining the number 11, he's had 1 DNF. But he's been doing kind of solid. I think he can jump above the cut line. Most definitely if he keeps doing good. And look at that, all the way up to 2nd. At the conclusion of the race, the winner gets 20 points, 2nd place gets 10 points. So 10 points for Gregson is really what he needs right now, so keep that in mind. But stage points obviously too are going to play a factor into your points. The 20 has 10 stage points so far. Kyle Busch only has 1. As we complete 6 laps here in stage 2 of 60. And it's been an interesting race so far. I mean, the speed on the 20 allowed him to run down the field and get them a lap down, and now he can just continue to cruise. Monster Energy has just, like we mentioned earlier, has just brought nothing but good luck to the number 20 team, and that is exactly why it's his primary sponsor this season. Interstate batteries on the hood. Kind of similar to what Ty Gibbs ran in the Daytona 500, except the Interstate batteries was where the Monster Energy was, and the Monster Energy was on the hood. The pace car, again, since it's been a clean race and we went those full 60 laps in stage 1 without a caution, he only had to come out at the end of the caution, or at the end of the stage, because we've only had 1 caution, and that's to end stage 1. And there'll be another caution to end stage 2. And that is pending however many cautions we have here in stage 2, if any. And actually, give us a sec.
Hey,
We got a sold-out crowd for the Geico 500 today. And, of course, all you guys watching on YouTube TV network at home, we definitely appreciate it. These drivers appreciate it. If you're a fan of that 20, you gotta love how this race is going for you right now. So we know he's led 60 laps, and we'll know he'll have led 120 at the end of this stage if he leads every lap in this stage. It'll be about 69 laps total led by him after this lap is complete. And now trying to lead 70 laps here, which again gonna do it because everybody else is a lap down. Oh, still highly competitive race, and the 20 really got loose there coming off of turn 4. If you're gonna get loose, you better make sure everyone else is a lap down, definitely. As we have completed 10 laps of 60 in stage 2, we'll take you side by side again. And might have to go into a full screen commercial just for a little bit. The Geico 500 on YouTube TV network is literally only sponsored by Urban Woodworking right now. Definitely gotta get some more sponsors for each of the races, but 15 of 60 laps complete here in stage 2. The 20 continues to lead here at Talladega Superspeedway. And this would be his 76th lap he's led, this time by. His best lap, a 51.957. Last lap was a 52.341. Also, this upcoming Wednesday, throughout this weekend, the NFL Summer League playoffs also kick off. We will get you the teams that are going to compete in that. We will also continue MLB playoffs, which we haven't done since June because we had a lot of things going on. So both those will be continued, and then we also will tip off NBA and Access Football next month, which Access Football is pretty much just like the knockoff NFL. It's pretty much like the USFL and XFL. I wish there was a college game already because we would just do college, but can't do that yet. As there's lap traffic ahead on the track, and we saw him make it around the track and lap everybody once, and we know he can do it again. He's got the speed on that machine. Fastest in practice, qualified on the pole. Running some good lap times here. As we do reach 3:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast. Hard to believe that it's only been an hour and 27 minutes. Actually, an hour and 17 minutes, not 27. Still plenty of racing to do here at Talladega Superspeedway. We're coming to 40 to go in stage 2, and then we'll have a 68-lap final stage to the checkered flag. Again, this stage ends on lap 120. Normally we would have 3 cup races here, and 3 races for Xfinity also. Or no, we only had 2 for Xfinity. Normally we'd have 3 cup races here. A race today, 1 on Wednesday, and then 1 in the playoffs. However, Talladega lost its Wednesday date to Nashville Superspeedway, as that has been added to the schedule. And that is in Twitch Sports Network's 1 coverage of the season, which obviously begins after the All-Star race. Because after the All-Star, our final points-paying race of our coverage is New Hampshire, and then we cover the All-Star race, and then it goes over to Twitch Sports Network 1 for the rest of the Cup Series and Xfinity Series season. In 2025, when the Xfinity Series switches to the CW in real life, we will actually cover every Xfinity Series race right here on this channel for you guys. So Xfinity will be back on our channel for every race. And then just the Cup Series will move to Twitch Sports Network 1 after the first 16 races plus the All-Star race. And that also includes the Duels and Busch Light Clash. So it's Josh Berry, who is falling back to 37th. ran as high as 18th. And Greg Biffle, and he has no choice but to get down there and try to force Greg up the track so he does not go too far below that double yellow line. And 39 laps remain here in stage 2. Oh, he's really loose there coming off of 2. Now it's his journey to try to catch up to Austin Dillon, Timmy Hill, and Ty Dillon there. And now has got Josh Berry and Greg Biffle way back there to where they can't try to get their lap back. And how about this? The pace car still has not had to come out since the end of stage 1. Team communications between the 20 has been nothing but good this entire race, and we are 10 laps away from halfway through this race. Again, nice weather, not gonna have to call it, but just so everybody knows that you're halfway there in 10 laps. So bear with us. So this is where we will go to our full screen commercial for a couple minutes, guys. We will be back in a couple minutes. Alright guys, that was a couple more minutes than I expected. My apologies for that, but we are going to resume the Geico 500 right now. And of course, remember, this stage ends on lap 120. And here we go. So we're about to complete 25 laps of 60. And that's about 85 laps total complete in the race. 9 laps away from the halfway point. Can the 20 catch up to them lap cars up there? I mean, that was what we were talking about before we had to go to that long commercial. That was a little longer than we expected. Still a 51.957 is the best lap for the number 20. Getting faster and faster each time. That last lap was a 52.386. Welcome back to the one viewer. Finally back after that commercial that took a break that took a little longer than expected. Apologies for that. We've only missed one lap technically because this lap hasn't been complete yet. And at lap 20, when the stage comes to an end, that's when we'll pretend pit stops happen again. The drivers get their 4 crushed tires, splash of Sunoco fuel, and then if a late race caution or something comes out, or at some point during the late race, we'll just pretend like they went down pit road and got a little extra fuel just to make sure they can make it to the end. But then again, you can also save fuel here at Talladega too, and I'm expecting that's what that 20 is going to do because he's so far ahead and a lap ahead of the other cars, either a lap or 2 ahead of the other cars, that he can kind of just save fuel. In those final laps of the race. When he's catching that lap traffic, he'll be at least 2 laps down. Pretty much like the Daytona 500, 60 laps in stages 1 and 2. Except at Daytona, it's 80 laps in the final stage. Here, it's only 68 because of it being only 188 laps to go the 500 miles here. If we went 200, it'd probably be 600 miles, which would technically make it the second longest race, but just 188. 30 laps to go, stage 2. We reach 4:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Almost the 2-hour mark since we went green.
Stay right. All clear.
He's going to go 3 wide up the middle.
Stay left. All clear.
And he does. He stays to that outside, though, and he's going to be able to get around all of them. Oh, got a little loose. Went below that double yellow there. Good thing he was ahead of the lap cars. Technically, that wouldn't have counted as advancing his position anyway, though. And now he's chasing down Corey LaJoie and Tyler Reddick. And Tyler Reddick was in the top 5. He has since fallen back and about to go 2 laps down here. The 20's getting closer to Corey LaJoie and Tyler Reddick. It's going to be another week of disappointment for Tyler Reddick unless if he can turn it around in the final stage. Or he might get a couple cautions in this stage, but... Or actually, in reality, it's probably going to be disappointment anyway, because so many cars are either a lap or 2 down. It's going to take a while for it to cycle through the field. So Tyler Reddick's probably going to have another disappointing week, as he's going to get a push from his manufacturer teammate in the 20. And the 20's actually going to move him up out of his way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. We are halfway through the Geico 500 as 94 laps have been completed and led by the 20. We know that he was able to lap the whole field in stage 1, and if it stays green, he might be able to do it again here in stage 2. Of course, only one caution in this race, and it's to end stage 1. Will there be a second caution before the end of stage 2? Or will the second caution be at the end of stage 2? Maybe we won't see any incident cautions until the final stage. As that's a big pack of cars the 20's about to catch up to, and it took them a minute to get through the last big pack of cars back in stage 1, so it's going to take them a minute to get through these. Especially because you're going to want to jump in the draft with them. Draft off of them to catch them. But first, you got to run down the field that they're in first. Oh, we got 3 wide up here. Is that 27 cars? That could sure look like 27 cars. So remember, for a race to be official, it has to be halfway, which we are, or 100 laps in, if it's a 100 lap race. If it's less than 100 laps, it just has to be halfway. But again, sunny weather out today, definitely not going to have to call this one. It's just critical information for you guys to know about the race. Cindric's going to get a push up the track there. Bell's going to get a little contact from the 20. The 20 is going to have to, wow. He had to move Byron out of his way.
3 wide, you have 2 up top. 3 wide, 2 outside. 2 on the outside, you're 3. 3 wide, you got 2 up top, got 1 right. All clear.
Oh, it was so close to having a couple wrecks there in the first caution for incident.
3 wide, you got 2 up top.
Very close. As Ryan Blaney is the 4th place car, and Chase Briscoe and Elliott are way up there, but they're going to be caught by the end of this stage.
Clear, clear, clear.
So far, Elliott and Briscoe are still the only cars that are only 1 lap down. Everyone else is 2 laps down, except for the leader. The leader is the only car on the lead lap. And knowing that the 20 was able to catch those guys and put them 2 or more laps down, if this stays green, he's definitely catching Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe. Chase is chasing Chase, but Chase is getting chased by the leader. Yes, we used Chase multiple times in one sentence and made it make sense. And Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe, they know that that 20 made his way through that pack of cars, and he's gonna run them down. And we're even double official next time by, because we'd be 100 laps in. But again, obviously, we mentioned it before, not gonna have to worry about having to call it today because it's sunny. We will be running the full 188 laps, just like we did at Daytona. He's making up some time on Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe. And we have 20 laps to go in stage 2 as we'll take you side by side for the final time this stage. 100 laps into the Geico 500.
clear. Stay right. Clear, clear, clear.
$15 laps to go in stage 2. As we welcome you back to the Geico 500, sponsored by Urban Woodworking from Talladega Superspeedway. And the 20 ran down Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe, put them 2 laps down. Everybody is at least 2 or more laps down now. Greg Biffle and Josh Berry are going to be caught up to here, definitely. And honestly, if it stays green, again, the 20's got it. He's 2 laps ahead of the other cars on the track. It's just about getting to the end of the stage. Obviously, you don't want to crash, because even though second is 2 laps down, they could unlap themselves, obviously, and win the race if you crash out.
1 lap, clear all around.
You see the 20 running, making sure he runs that high side if there's only a couple cars there.
Still there. Still in 1 lap, 1 lap.
But when he was in the pack like that, he had cars everywhere. He almost accidentally spun 2 cars when he was in that pack.
Clear, clear.
That was almost a crash. That would have been the big one because it was in the turn. And again, not an intentional wreck, but I mean, that's just how it is when you get caught up in lap traffic like that. However, he made a pass through that pack of cars clean, and then only had to run down 2 more cars to put everybody 2 or more laps down. And he did it. He put everybody 2 or more laps down. As we now have 13 laps to go, stage 2. Again, this stage ends on lap 120. And then there'll be a 68 lap final stage. And we talked to the crew chiefs and looked at our stats, and realistically, if you pit at the end of stage 2, you'll be able to make it to the end of the race, even though it's 8 more laps than the first 2 stages. So again, we're pretending that the pit stops are happening. Oh, the 20 got really loose there off of 4. That was an almost disaster there. But if you pit at the end of stage 2, which again, we're just going to pretend the pit stops are happening because they're kind of unrealistic on tracks like these. then you can make it to the end of the race on fuel and tires. And fuel and tires will not be necessary at the Food City Dirt Race next week, so the cars will just be on the track racing each other. Oh, the 20 got in the wall. That's the first time in a while he actually made some contact with the outside wall.
Stay right.
And we are about an hour and 57 minutes into this race, almost 2 hours. We're 3 minutes away from the 2-hour mark. Probably gonna be close to 3 hours. It's probably gonna take an hour to complete the final stage. Actually, not a lot, just a couple of side swipes, and when we pretend to do the pit stop, they just toss some tape on it. It's like this duct tape that they put on the car to keep the parts together, so. The 20 out here trying to earn his 6th win of the season. It would be a back-to-back wins for him as he won at Charlotte last week. As there's 10 laps to go in Stage 2. He has 11 stage wins on the year, and that includes the Stage 1 win here. Trying to get his 12th. 10 more laps. Hopefully 2 cautions don't come out. It does take a minute to get around this 2.66 mile Superspeedway, but another lap is complete, and we're a lap closer to ending Stage 2. I think the 20 might be able to catch just a few more lap cars before the end of the stage. He might be able to catch up to Ty Dillon, what was it? Ty Dillon, Harrison Burton, and Allmendinger, he might be able to catch up to by the time this stage is over. We'll have to see, though, because only a few laps left here in Stage 2. And they are still about 11 seconds ahead of him, even though they're lap cars. His new best lap, a 51.684. His last was a 52.442. Let's see what this one is. A 52.285 was that one. As we now have 7 laps to go, Stage 2 here at Talladega. What a weekend it's been for Team Irving. Won the Xfinity Series race, got all 3 of their cars in the top 10. Fastest car in practice for the Cup Series. Qualified on the pole with Irving in the 20. has led every lap to this point. That's about 114 because we're about to complete this lap. Won stage 1 and about to win stage 2. We'll have to see if he can catch those guys. I doubt he's going to catch them in this stage, but the final stage he should be able to catch at least 3 more cars before the end of the race. But he's definitely going to catch everybody at least once again in the final stage, unless a bunch of cautions start to come out. Last lap, 52.390. What's this lap gonna be? As we have 5 to go in stage 2. 52.366. He's already led 1,032 laps coming into this race, and this is just gonna add on more. Actually, let's figure that out. So he currently has 1,147 laps led. Through just the first 8 races of the season. The 20 can earn up to 7 playoff points this race because he already got the 1 for winning the pole. He got 1 for winning stage 1. He's going to get another 1 for winning stage 2 because of the rule change, and he'll get 5 if he wins this race. Also, if you have a playoff point because you won a pole, but you haven't won a race and you're below that cut line after the regular season finale, the playoff point is obviously taken away because you weren't in the playoffs. So if you're a driver that won the pole and have a playoff point but no wins, you might want to get a win in there. And we have 3 laps to go here in stage 2. So regardless if the caution comes out now or at the end of the stage, the 20 is going to win it. And he has managed to catch up to AJ Allmendinger. Can he catch up to those other cars ahead? He's going to have 2 laps to go at the line, so I think on this on one of these final 2 laps, he should be able to catch him. He should catch him right here on the back straightaway. Ty Dillon running 33rd. He's going to be the first victim. Then Harrison Burton. Then Chris Buescher. Then Austin Dillon. This is going to force the 20 to stay in the middle and go 3 wide. Little contact between the 20 and 17 there. The 20 gets through it clearly. Final lap of stage number 2. As we have reached 2 hours and 13 minutes of race time. That last lap was a 51.830. Just barely missed his best lap. We'll have to see what this lap is, but we'll have to wait until after we see the stage 2 results, because off turn 4 he comes. He won stage 1, got a playoff point, add another playoff point to it. Through the tri-oval, and the 20, just like he did last week, will sweep the stages here at Talladega, as we have completed 120 of 188 laps in the Geico 500. So this time, it's Urbane, Elliott, Briscoe, Blaney, Wallace, Larson, Harvick, Byron. Ooh, look at Ryan Newman in his first super speedway race in the next-gen car in 9th there, and Noah Gregson in 10th. Let's see, Kyle Busch, he got 10th in stage 1. That time he was 26th. Ross Chastain, who got 2nd in stage 1, was 24th. All right.
Watch the lights. Pit road is closed. Pit entry is stage winner. Now move closer.
68 laps to go in the Geico 500. From Talladega Superspeedway here in Talladega, Alabama. And the cars pit. They're going to keep their same track position. Austin Dillon's going to get one of his laps back for the time being, but he's actually going to quickly lose it here as the 20 pulls back in front of him.
Clear.
Now here's the draft working very well. The draft will be together for probably about 30 laps or so in this stage. And they all come off turn 4. And we are a lap closer to the finish, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, we didn't get to tell you the last lap, but that last lap was 55.366, or 336, excuse us, for the 20 there. And the 20 is going to definitely pull out as far as he did earlier because, I mean, again, everybody back there is a lap or 2 down. Well, everybody's actually 2 or more laps down at this point. And the 20 knows he'll at least catch the whole field once in this final stage here. The draft should start separating probably around 10 laps into the stage. We'll see. Technically that 24-hour one is going to be the closest to 1,000 laps. Which we need to get on recruiting people, because I want people recruited for that by January, because that's when we're running it. 20 has pulled out to a 5.1 second lead off of Chase Elliott. No, that's a different series. That's 1,000 laps. That's going to be in GTA, but it's a sports car race. It's its own thing. Oh, I tell you what, this sold-out crowd of fans really got their money's worth today. And they still get less than 68 laps of racing. And fun fact for you, the Bristol Dirt Race is already sold out a week before it even happens. For both the late model and cup race. There's going to be a really huge crowd at Eldora for late model and truck series race. And I heard that there's also going to be a huge crowd at Mid-Ohio for the Xfinity Series race. That is the first road course race of the season for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And of course, it's dirt racing. You can look it up because I don't know how to really explain the car, but it's like a dirt racing car. But anyway, what we were saying is, at road courses this season, there are no stage breaks at the end of caution, at the end of caution. There are no stage breaks on road courses, meaning there will not be a caution flag out after the conclusion of a stage on a road course, and that goes for all three series. So stages will not even be turned on for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Mid-Ohio. Instead, we will have our own stages and award points how they occur, and of course we're going to keep racing after the stage comes to an end. Why are we doing that, you may ask? That's because NASCAR does it in IRL, and we follow a majority of their rules from IRL. Except, I don't believe the pole winner gets a playoff point in real life. So that's really the only rule that we have in mind that doesn't really exist in real life. I think it's kind of cool if you go out there and get a pole for a playoff point. And, I mean, if you lose it because you didn't make the playoffs, you lose it. But that can really help you towards the playoffs. As he's got Chase Elliott almost a 10-second lead behind him. And we've only completed 8 laps here in the final stage. Currently, the last lap was a 5:52.418. What's this lap gonna be? A 52.542.124, higher than his last lap. So that was kind of a slow lap for the 20. So when is the next time we pay a trip to Talladega Superspeedway? Well, that will be the round of 12 playoffs and we will tell you the exact date after the side-by-side, because we have 130 laps of 188 complete in the final stage. We're gonna go side-by-side. .53 laps remain in the Geico 500 from Talladega Superspeedway. 20 continues to be out front, and running down has Gralla, who has fallen back to 40th. And he last raced 2 weeks ago at Atlanta Motor Speedway. First race in 2 weeks. Currently running last, not what you want to do. He's a part-time driver, so luckily for him, points don't really matter that much because he's not eligible for playoffs due to him being a part-time driver. But you still want to get up there and compete for wins and steal a couple points. That lap was actually 0.93 seconds faster. Or not 0.93 seconds, just 0.093 faster. And it was a 52.342 for the 20 there. So, we're actually going to tell you now what the exact date we return to Talladega Superspeedway is. After today, it is during the playoffs for the Cup Series. And... oh, we actually go for the first race of the round of 8, and it's actually March 10th, 2024 is the next race here. So it is the first race of the round of 8 for the playoffs. And it determines, and one lucky driver out of the 12 cars, or the 8 cars competing in that round will punch their ticket to Phoenix Raceway, where the championship race is at, to potentially win a championship. So we are not back at this track until March of next year. Normally it's the second race in the round of 12, but some schedule tweaks this year made it the first race of the round of 8. And that's going to be interesting because most of the time, this is, in real life, this is the second race of the round of 12, and that's how it was for the first 3 seasons of this league. If you crash here at Talladega in the second race of the round of 12, you could put yourself in a must-win situation heading into the Charlotte Roval, which is the cutoff race. However, this being the first, or the next race here being the first race of the round of 8, you could potentially crash here, but still have a chance in the last 2 races to punch your ticket to the championship 4 at Phoenix. And just so everybody knows that may have not been tuned in, those pit stops at the end of stage 2 have confirmed that these guys can make it to the end of the race. So they will be going to the end of the race here. And that last lap was a 52.341. So we talked about the 20. He caught the field and lapped him at least everybody at least once in the first 2 stages, and obviously that most recent time he caught them all, he put them all 2 or more laps down. Has a good shot to catch them all again here, as there's still a lot of racing left to do here in this final stage. We are not done yet, not even close to being done. But we are getting there, as we are officially now 48 laps away from the checkered flag in this race. Only 2 cautions. And we have reached 5:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm guessing it's going to be pretty close to 3 hours before this race is done. Remember, we started this race, it went green at 2:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's currently 5:03.
Stay high. Clear all around.
And Casbrella is now at least 3 laps down. He might even be more. He's at least 3 down. Pace car has just been sitting there since the end of stage 2, still no cautions yet. I think it could honestly go green here in the final stage too. I mean, we threw the green flag, started the race. All 60 of those laps in stage 1 went green. Threw the green and white checkered flag, caution came out to end stage 1. Pace car pulled back down pit road, sent them off on their way for another 60 laps in stage 2. All those went green to the green and white checkered flag. Caution came out to end that, and pace car pulled in and sent them on their way here in the final stage. And for 23 laps at the line, we have been green. And of course, we've been mentioning it even in weeks leading up to it, and Urbane himself actually leaked his car for next week on his Snapchat story a few weeks ago. But next week it's off to the Food City Dirt Race at the Bristol Motor Speedway on the dirt. It's going to be about 250 laps around that track. And again, pit stops will not be necessary. The tires and fuel will be made to withstand the race. And that all begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Sunday night. So Bristol Motor Speedway, when we are done here, we're going to pack up and head your way. And then after the Food City Dirt Race is Circuit of the Americas for the first road course race for the Cup Series this season. And again, in that race too, just like Xfinity, we mentioned it's all 3 series. There will be no stage breaks, so stages will not be turned on. Instead, we will have our own stages. So after a certain number of laps, we'll say that stage 1 is over, stage 2 is over, and then we'll run the final laps in the final stage. And stages will not be turned on, but cautions will still be turned on and stuff like that. And that week, both Xfinity and Trucks has an off week. So Trucks had an off week this week. They did not race here at Talladega Superspeedway like they normally did. They will be returning to their action at Eldora on Friday night. And then they're going to have another week off. And then Xfinity Series will have their first off weekend of the season next week as well. Or this week coming, or yeah, next week as well. And that is when Urbane will be in the Formula 1 race on Saturday at Circuit of the Americas, and then in the Cup race on Sunday. This is going to be his first open wheel race ever. He hopes to run the Indianapolis 500 and a couple other bucket list races for IndyCar if that game comes out in 2024, like they said. Looking at early 2024, they said. Then his first season will be part-time, and then he'll try to run a full-time season along with the Cup Series. and SRX. That last lap was a 52.383. And so far, Urbane has only caught one car this whole final stage, but he's definitely going to catch up to everybody else. And we have 40 laps to go in the Geico 500, and we'll take you side by side.
left. Clear all around.
Thirty-three laps to go in the Geico 500 as we welcome you back. And look at all this traffic in front of the 20 here. He's really on the high side there. You get around him, taking it 3 wide in some corners.
3 wide, you're up top, clear all around. 2 inside, you're 3 wide. 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 2 inside, you're 3 wide.
And you can hear team communications. Well, his crew chief is telling him where he's at. He's actually pushing his teammate, Denny Hamlin, right now.
2 inside, you're 3 wide. 2 inside, you're 3 wide. 2 inside, you're 3 wide. 2 inside,
now he's going to push
2 inside, you're
Ty Gibbs. Oh, some contact with Ryan Priest there.
2 inside, you're 3 wide. 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 2 inside.
And I think the game actually got broke, guys. The spotter actually broke himself.
2 inside, you're 3 wide. 2 inside, you're 3 wide. 2 inside, you're 3 wide.
As the 20 did make some contact with the outside wall there. And look at that, gave Cindric a push. He's going to get through him, guys. He's going to make it through this. Doing a nice job at it, too.
3 wide, you're up top. 3 wide, you're up top.
Some drivers would freak out and end up causing a wreck, and look at that. Just made his way through the field. Look at Kyle Busch. He finished 10th in Stage 1, 23rd Stage 2, and now he's up to 4th. But 3rd and 2nd place is in that pack of cars ahead of the 20 there. We said that the 20 was going to make it around everyone at least once. He's going to do that here, and he might be able to make it through half of the field before the end of the race.
1 left, low. Clear all around.
So Brad Keselowski, the 3rd place car, is just ahead of AJ Allmendinger right there. And Brad is honestly going to be above that cut line after the points are logged for this week's race, because Denny Hamlin is still towards the back of the field, and he's 0 points to the good. Brad Keselowski's 0 points to the negative. He's going to be able to make that up here at Talladega Superspeedway without a win, too.
outside. Clear, clear, clear. Got one
Chase
left.
Elliott still sits second. Good run for Chase Elliott
Got one
today.
left. Low. Clear all around.
And the 20
One
has
left.
got everybody again. As we have 29 laps to go in the Geico 500. Now the 20 is just going to be making his way back around this track again. Nice run for the 20 there through that big pack of cars in the back and then that small pack there. .28 to go here at Talladega Superspeedway. What a day it has been. These drivers are exhausted. They're telling their crew chiefs it's 88 degrees outside right now. They've been in these cars for a little over 2 hours. And we're about 16 minutes away from being 3 hours into the race. We appreciate the fans sticking with us that did, and we appreciate the fans watching, even if you're popping in and out, and even if you're just stuck with us for a little bit. And we appreciate these fans in the stands. Justin Haley is about 11 seconds ahead of the leader right now. He's currently the first car the leader would catch up to put another lap down. This has been a really good race and a really clean one too. Only 2 cautions and those are to end the stages. That is it. But the number 20 crew brought a fast Toyota Camry TRD this weekend. That's one thing for sure. And we'll have to see if they can do the same next weekend as... Again, Urbane, he's a really good dirt track racer. He has 2 career truck wins on dirt. And he has a couple late model wins on dirt too, so... We'll have to see what he does this weekend in both the truck and cup race, since those are on dirt tracks. Another lap complete, another lap closer to the finish. Even though Chase is like 3 laps down, positions 1 and 2 are running in the correct order here in this race. Welcome back to the viewer that's tuning back in. We appreciate you popping in and out if you have. Oh, gotta get back above that double if I'm at 20. Again, he did not advance his position, so it's not a penalty, but you don't want to be on that apron going into the turn because you will spin yourself out. Luckily for the 20, that'd be the first caution for incident, but the cars behind him are still multiple laps down, that it's not really going to matter. He's still going to be in the lead. He's about a 9.5 second lead away from getting his lap back is Chase Elliott. Getting closer to Justin Haley. Justin Haley is gaining some of that time back, though. When the 20 is on the straightaways, he gains on Haley. When he's in the turns, Haley gains some of his time back. $20 laps to go in the Geico 500. We will take our final break of the race. Side by side, you won't miss a thing.
clear.
We welcome you back to the Geico 500 with 13 laps to go at Talladega Superspeedway. This has just been a fun and exciting race as the 20 goes all the way to the high side there. Fun, exciting race, and can't wait to see the finish of this thing, even though we probably know how it's going to play out. And I'm really excited to get to Bristol next week. So, Urbane was able to catch up to Justin Haley and put him another lap down. Now he's got to deal with Ty Dillon. It's Ty Dillon, Denny Hamlin, and that's all we could see for now. And Martin Truex Jr., his teammate. Welcome to the 3 viewers, coming to 11 to go here at the line from Talladega Superspeedway. And here it is, 11 laps to go. The 20 trying to earn his 6th win of the season, and I think as long as it stays green and 2 cautions don't come out to give Chase Elliott his laps back, I honestly think that he's got this in the bag. He should catch up to Ty Dillon, Denny Hamlin, and Corey LaJoie by the time the race comes to an end. Oh, got loose, went below that line, and we have reached the 3-hour mark, folks. This race has been green this race got underway 3 hours ago, and we have 9 laps left to run here. So it's been a pretty good race here. Now the 20 is just going to see if he can reel in Dillon and Hamlin. At least one final time before the checkered flag in this thing. As is to be expected, definitely a 3-hour race, definitely a long one today, but again, when the track is 2.66 miles, takes you a minute to complete a lap around here. As there's another one complete, getting us closer to the finish. As he's getting closer to those 2 lap cars ahead of him. Seven laps to go from Talladega. There he goes. He should be able to get him on the low side. Hamlin's going to run him down towards that double yellow line, but he gets around him. Now, honestly, I think he can just cruise his way to victory lane. If the caution does not come out, keep that in mind. We have not had a caution except to end both stages yet in the race. But if the caution does come out, that can... Obviously, the 20 would still be in the lead because Chase Elliott would only be 1 lap down then because he'd get the free pass, but... Cautions breed caution, so if a late caution comes out, that could mean the difference between the 20 wrapping this thing up and the 20 having to fight to wrap this thing up. Because all Elliott needs is 2 cautions, or actually 3 cautions, I mean. The flagger gives him the 5 to go signal, so 5 laps to go in the Geico 500. He's making a push, trying to catch up to these cars. I don't think he does, though. Also, just in case a late race caution comes out, since we would be going to overtime now, if a late race caution does come out. Overtime is a 2-lap shootout, green-white checkered finish. If the leader takes the white flag under green, the next flag ends the race. Caution prior, we re-rack them and restart them, and it's unlimited attempts at a green-white checkered finish. Yesterday's Xfinity Series race was going to be marked official after the last restart of the race if the caution came out, because there was some things that had to be taken care of after the race. But luckily they got to the white flag, made it truly official. And then Urbane came back around and took the checkered flag in first place, winning that race. And is just 3 laps away from seeing the checkered flag in this race. So he has to make it around here at least 2 more times to get the white flag to make it official. Because obviously if the white flag comes out, the next flag ends it. And then caution means overtime. Three laps to go from Talladega for the one viewer viewing the video right now. I don't think we catch those cars up there in the final 3 laps. But we're gonna definitely try to see how many more cars we can get another lap down before the end of this thing. Kyle Busch fell all the way back to 28th. He was running 4th at one point in this race. That was the highest he's ran. Is told that they're about Buescher, which is currently the last car in that pack up there, about 3.3 seconds ahead of him. And he's going to try to see how many cars he can get up there. He's going to have to do it on the final lap, though, if he can. I don't think he has enough speed to get him. And it doesn't really matter. Through the tri-oval he comes. This race is official, ladies and gentlemen. White flag, 1 lap to go, presented by Urbane Woodworking. What a day it's been at Talladega Superspeedway as we reach the 188th and final lap of the race. Look at this speed he's got. Can he get up there? Can he get up there and spoil some cars? It's gonna be crazy. I don't think he's gonna be able to do it before the start-finish line. Definitely not. But he comes off turn 4 for the final time. And he will win it at Talladega Superspeedway for his 6th Cup Series victory of the season. The Geico 500 goes to the 20. What a weekend for Team Urbane at this track. And look at that, only 2 of the Team Urbane cars finished in the top 10. And after we take our screenshots of these, so that way we can get the points done up later. We will view victory lane, and then we will do our burnout. The other Team Urbane car was the 11. And only me and him finished in the top 10. Alright, time for a burnout, ladies and gentlemen. You already know the drill for that. We got to turn it to race session only. 2% race, 1 car. Make sure everything is off. Yep, okay. And we're going to ignore Alex Hayden, because obviously he's going to talk about the race data. which we don't need because we just ran the race.
Welcome to Talladega Superspeedway. I'm Alex Hayden, and we're here today for 500 miles of high-intensity superspeedway racing at one of the most
Also, don't go anywhere after the burnout because I do want to tell you where the other Team Urbane car is finished. So this will be a cool-down lap right here. They don't call the number 20 the Super Speedway King for no reason. Most of his wins have came on Super Speedways. And next week at Bristol, we'll make sure to count the number of Super Speedway wins he has and tell you how many he for sure has at Bristol next week. And actually, it is the cool down lap, but I don't want to be on this back straightaway all day, so we're just going to whip it down the back straightaway. And it's not just an ordinary win for the 20 this weekend. It is a weekend sweep for Urbane and his team, Team Urbane, as they got 3 cars in the top 10 yesterday, actually even the top 5 yesterday. And today, unfortunately, only get 2 cars in the top 10, but a win by their owner. And it happens in front of this crowd. And nice little burnout there. Again, it's not a perfect because we literally have to do this, but take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Your 6-time Cup Series winner there is parked on the start-finish line. He's going to go up and grab the checkered flag. And with that, we will say not so long yet. I just remembered what I said. I was going to say we're going to say so long, but we have got to tell you where the other Team Urbane car is finished, so hang in there with us for just a couple more seconds here. Alright, so it was Urbane first, Gregson 10th. Martin Truex Jr. 23rd. Ty Gibbs 24th. And Denny Hamlin finished 38th. And with that, we will say so long, everybody. We will see you for Cup Series racing at Bristol next Sunday. And then we will see you for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race on Saturday from Mid-Ohio and the Truck Series race Friday night from Eldora. Until then,